Manju Ramanan, editor Filmfare Middle East, and today we have a very interesting talent to be interviewed here at the Hockwood Digital Studios. Here we are speaking to somebody called Treadmill Kumar, and if you know who I'm actually hinting at, you know who I'm talking about. It's Ashwin Kumar, a Dubai-based talent who's been trending with his treadmill dances of actors, and the biggest one was Kamal Hassan ji. जिनका इन्होंने बहुत इंटरेस्टिंगली उन्होंने डांस भी किया, उनको इम्प्रोवाइज भी किया, उनके जैसा एक्ट भी किया. And the next one was Jacobite, also that he, very excelled in, and I'm sure a lot of fan clubs have been now following him and seeing who he's going to now, imitate next. He's going to take a break with that, is what he said, and he's going to surprise us when we think he's, doing other things. He is based in Dubai, acts in the south of India, but that's not going to be the limit. I'm sure he's going to be more than just boundaries. People from all over the world have loved and watched this video. And let's welcome Ashwin Kumar to the studios.
Thank you.
So tell me about this treadmill stories and how did it happen? What did you do?
Yeah, so this is something that I've done like 5 years ago, and I think it's not a big deal for dancers to actually dance on the treadmill. And first thing, there are a lot of people who've done this. Like you put it on Google and then you have a lot of results, and probably I would be one among those 100.
Right.
So, but I think it really matters. I didn't expect such a viral response, but I think what mattered is who I did it for and what I attempted, and the kind of movement that people expect in a treadmill and what actually comes out of it was probably, I can guess, the reason for people to like it. And obviously when you do, a sect of fans idol, I think they connect with it immediately.
Right.
So I think I have to thank all the fans of the idols I've done, and they are the reason why this became viral. And the minute I put it on Twitter, it just sort of went out.
How many interviews till now we can count, and how many more to come?
I think I still have like 5 or 6 to go.
Okay.
And I've done around 10 to 15.
Wow. And what about, so is it going to help you get better film roles? Have you been approached already?
It's always nice to be hopeful with detached expectations. Because expectations really put a person down. So probably it's nice to have good hopes. And first thing, probably just keep that passion burning inside, because like I said, this is something I did like 5 years ago for songs of Hrithik Roshan and Michael Jackson's and so on and so forth. So after 5 years, I just thought, why not just do this? Let me see if I still got the hang of it and all that.
Yeah.
So I thought, why don't we go vintage this time? So I did Kamal sir's epic, Apuraja.
And he acknowledged it and he shared it on his platform. Tell me about that.
That is something, I actually skipped a meal that day because I couldn't just eat. I was in complete shock, and I really didn't expect this for just a mobile video. I don't mean to deteriorate or sort of demean the format.
Right.
But I believe that when things are very professionally done, and there's a film that is have performed really well, or something like that. But for a person of that stature to tweet this, and I still sort of rub my eyes and see his profile again and again in his Insta when my video is there. I think
it's another level.
It's a totally different. Actually, it's very childish of me, but I see this like you release a film on Friday, and then the 1 week long run, and the next Friday the verdict is it's a hit. So one Friday I upload it, and then it gets viral and it goes totally out of proportion, and then I'm very happy with it. And I'm like, I don't expect anything more from this. Like, this is more than what I expected. And finally, it's like Kamal sir tweets, and you won't believe this. Something very interesting, like, we call him universal hero down south.
Yeah.
And they say that, when you have the passion for something and you give in so much for that,
right.
the universe gives you back.
Right.
It's a pun basically,
Yes.
so that's why probably he's known as a universal hero. When I saw his tweet, my wife had actually captured that moment.
Okay.
I was having my son in my hand,
Oh.
and then I was standing and I'm seeing the tweet. My phone is in the hand, and actually my wife and my dad are expecting me to drop my son also. Blackout. And the best part is, on the TV there's a Kamal Haasan song running.
Okay, so everything
मैं यहाँ पे
is
tweet मैं यहाँ पे tweet देख रहा हूँ, यहाँ पे सर दिख रहे हैं, मुझे पता नहीं क्या हो रहा है। और उस दिन मैंने लंच भी नहीं खाया, और my mom was like actually लात मार के बोला कि एटलीस्ट ये खाओ तुम, हाँ तो like out of the world and just.
So because you are a good mimic as well.
Yeah.
Let's hear something of your favorite Tamil sir. It could be in Tamil.
I think I think A to J KDA is something which everyone can connect with, especially.
Yeah.
So. अब मेरे जीवन साथी प्यार किए जा जवानी दीवानी सत्यम शिवम सत्यम. That's.
Great. Can we have something that you can imitate, mimic?
I can never escape this, wherever I go, but it goes, I think, probably with whatever. I'm pretty grateful for the fan following that I had,
Yeah.
that, probably has put me to here.
Yeah.
But Kamal sir, what do I tell about him? I mean, there's not one or two things that I can pick up, but it's just his, apart from just the charm and the person that he is from the outside, but the willingness to do anything, and the boldness to take a risk and try anything new, come out of the comfort zone. I think that is something that has probably reinvented him decade after decade.
Right.
Because
The great
I think you can never compare one era of Kamal Haasan to another era.
Right.
That's how different his scale is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean there are a lot of things that, and I've been his diehard fan.
Okay. So from A to J KDA, you want to show us something?
Yeah, I mean because that is, I think, the one film that actually sort of, who's this man, who's this boy, back then, who's this boy. So at that time, the lines that were famous were all the film titles. Jawani Diwani Satyam Shivam Sundaram Pyar Kiye Ja.
So you've been a Dubai kid, you've lived in this part of the world, you were not born here, you were born in Chennai, but you were raised here.
Yeah.
So what is it about Dubai that makes you different than, there are many actors who are from the south, but what is an advantage that you have that you're from this part of the world?
I think this place really gets you exposed to a lot of other things. Like, I don't mean to say that, if you're brought up in India that you might probably lack a few things, but I think it's advantageous because of the nationalities that you find here.
Right.
The exposure right from childhood, and then you get to meet a Pakistani friend, and then you have a Filipino friend, and then you have different people from different states, like you have Malayali, you have Telugu, you have Tamil. So I think I developed all my languages, and my multilinguistic flair today comes from, I think, my brought up in the atmosphere here.
Right.
And also right from school to working everywhere, you go to the grocery, every part of life over here has that multi-exposure advantage.
Yeah.
So, and also it gets you exposed to a lot of other, say people's work, or not just Bollywood. Being a South Indian, I have a very big influence on Bollywood because I've been exposed to. I still, if this song that I did of Apuraja is one side, on the Hindi, on the Bollywood side, it was Ram Lakhan that has to be put, the VHS has to be put for the food to go inside.
Right.
When I was
when you were a
toddler,
child.
yeah.
Okay.
So I could barely walk, but I will have to still dance for,
So you were a dancer right from childhood?
I think it's just being
Naturally.
Yeah.
Did you also train later?
No.
So you're a natural complete.
Self-learned.
Okay.
Yeah, mad scientist. So,
But you live here and you travel out there for films and then you come back. How do you manage this? Because
there are pros and cons of it. I think now when you're here, I mean, I believe I've been pampered a lot, and it's not just me, but I think everybody, regardless of anything, is luxurious in the most basic terms.
Luxury is a part of our lives.
Yeah. So any kid that's grown here will definitely face a kind of, not a culture shock, but a kind of,
a different
a
climate.
conflict I think a clash or a conflict of principles and the way.
Yeah, it's an international NRI problem. Right?
Yeah,
We all
exactly.
go back and then adjust and then realize what we also are privileged with and what we have to also earn.
NRI, not really Indian, probably. So to the so over there, the way people work, the way people communicate and stuff like that, you get used to a particular standard of working or communication over here. So that gives a big contrast. But on the other side, I think it's a great. You sort of start. You start feeling that I missed being raised here. You also have that side.
Yeah, it's both.
Yeah, it's both ways.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it sometimes the logistics is a big problem.
Okay.
But we have a family business here, and my dad would probably close his ears if he has to hear this part of the conversation. But before, definitely it was a full-time job, and it was a definitely a big responsibility, a commitment. And but when I always had this madness of cinema in me, and I wanted to be an actor since probably more than a decade. So when I used to silently work behind. I never used to make a noise about anything. मैं कुछ करता था और अचानक एक दिन मैं दिखाऊंगा टीवी में, हाँ जी मैंने ये किया था, कब किया था? And then they'll be like, किया था, देखो पहले. So I'll very silently start sleeping in what I do behind. Yeah. And they were always happy about it and all that. But obviously, especially for having grown here and being pampered and all that, and thrown into the industry, we all know there are different kinds of challenges and things like that. And me being exposed to a totally different industry and all, it's nice when you're talented and then your talents are very relevant to the job that you're pursuing. But apart from that, the working style and everything has its own sort of insecurity and assurity.
Tell me about the talent that you worked with and what inspired you about each of these actors. You worked across a cross section of South Indian cinema. Tell me about each of them and what is that you remember or inspired by.
The first Malayalam break for me, my first Malayalam film was called Jacobite Swargarajyam, which translates Jacob's Kingdom of Heaven, with starring Nivin Pauly, who is like the youth, the youth icons. So the way I came into that project itself is like very, very sort of strange, miracle I would say. But my friends actually make fun of me, and I don't know if you can even say it here, but the coincidence is such that whenever there's a natural disaster, when there is something which is which puts the world into such crisis, something good happens to me, which is actually a coincidence. I don't believe in that. Jab I say, like, there was a Chennai flood that happened back in 2015, and I did a scene in the film, like I told you, with my short film, one of my short films. I was scored there, and I was introduced to them via that short film, and then I did that one scene with Nivin Pauly and Lakshmi Ramakrishnan, and then I was very happy, like, okay, wow, I got to do at least one good scene with a good chunk of the performance scope. And the flood happens, the flood starts, and I was also supposed to go to India, and I packed my bag and all that, and my parents are already in India, and they're facing the flood there. And the director, Vinny Srinivasan, calls me, and first of all, I didn't expect a direct call from the director, like you either expected an assistant calling up and from somebody from the production. But he tells me that there's such an flood over there, the floods have been increasing, the airports are shut down, all this is happening, and he's been telling me a lot of things, and then suddenly I start thinking, like, okay, why is he telling me all this? There's one corner of my head which is like puzzle, and then he says the great director Gautam Menon sir was supposed to actually play the role of the negative lead, and he says sir is not able to come. So I thought, why don't you do it? From nowhere. And my only visiting card, or my only probably the bigger audition was that one scene, how I fared. So it's actually a very big gamble or a big call that even he's taking. क्योंकि सिर्फ एक ही scene देखा है. तो एक ही scene से if I have to pull off the negative lead of the whole film, the role of the whole film, I think it's, but I don't know, they call it the director's eye also and the destiny as well. तो फ्लड की वजह से वो हो गया. ये अभी पैंडेमिक चल रहा है और सब पागल हो रहे हैं घर पे बैठ के. I don't know. I really don't know what kya masla kya hai.
Let's not hope other disasters are necessary for you to shine. I'm sure.
No. I really hope for everyone's safety.
Yeah, so you're talking about the talent that you were inspired by. So if you can tell us each name and what you were inspired
So
by.
that was Niven Pauly.
Yeah.
And second, it was great working with him because he was actually like he was in his peak with Premam running for I don't know how many days, months together.
Yeah.
So he was very chill, relaxed, and he would compliment me often. He was very happy for the fact that I sort of got transferred to a bigger role and a space.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is meant for you, bro. And then he came and hugged me. So he was very kind to do that. And then next was Prithviraj sir. He again has a school himself actually because at the age of 36, doing 100 films is not at all normal. So I think he's just soaked in the cinema and being a film buff himself. And I think I can say that I passed out from Prithviraj's school of cinema. So I've been through different schools, if you see that. I've been in cinemas from Prithviraj. And then the next Bhandar talent is Dhanush ji. I did a film called Enenu Ki Payam Tota. And that was again, it's a very weird circle. The film I did first in Tamil called Dhuruvangal Pathinaaru, D16. The first look was actually launched by Gautam sir. In Jacobite Swargarajyam, I did his role, what he was supposed to do.
Right.
And then I landed up in his own film. So it's like, and then the best part was my name in Dhuruvangal Pathinaaru was Gautam.
Okay.
So this Gautam in me and something to do. So it's like I landed up with him in his set and being directed by this genius and on one side and having another genius performing in front of me. मैं कभी-कभी 2-1 millisecond के लिए अपना line बोलता था. So that's the intensity that the Mr. has, and that man is like he knows the job really well, very professional. And मैं पौने घंटे से मैं वहाँ पे stunt practice कर रहा था और वो आए 10 minutes सीखे and he was correcting me while the shots were meant. Not punch, kick, okay? Next. And I'm like. So, and that was my first ever stunt scene, so I was very sort of scared and I'm kind of nervous. So I've worked with some really good talents and big stars, to say. And Rahman sir, who's I've done 2 films with him, and he's actually another Gulf brought up man. I'm very grateful and I'm very thankful to have worked.
What are the next projects that you were working on and what is it now?
One film that was supposed to release actually in May is called Aha. It's a film based on tug of war. It was starring Mr. Indrajit in the main lead, and I'm doing.
I've seen the trailer.
The teaser, yes. And we had Mohanlal sir actually had launched that on his official account, and there was another shoot that was going to start, and obviously for obvious reason, it's been postponed. Just really hoping that to get back to work, hands are itching, But I think through that is when such things start happen. So but nothing at the cost.
And you're not going to tell us who's going to be the next star you will be mimicking on the treadmill.
Because I really don't know. Because I mood के हिसाब से like ये जो किया था for Dalpati Vijay. One is it's the song from from the film that's going to release. It's called Master. One. Second thing, there were a lot of requests for Dalpati because he's very known for his dance numbers. So there were a lot of requests. Probably if they had requested for another star, I would have done that. And another reason is doing those requests was also a chance for me to show my gratitude towards them for having made this my first one such a success and having made its way to the legend himself. So I think it was just and 21st June was my birthday, and you can't find another better way to express your gratitude. And 22nd June was his birthday. Dalpati Vijay's birthday.
Okay, so that became perfect.
Everything just
synced
together. So अपने काबू में कुछ नहीं होता. It's not our control. I think it's all the universal.
What about Bollywood? Have you been approached? Are you planning to?
I definitely want to do some good role, and it's going to be a big
Big step.
Big, not step, probably a lot of steps with a lot of, but you never know what comes when.
Because talent is migrating, so there's.
Yeah, you never know what comes when, but I always wanted to believe that I'd like to be not out of arrogance, but sincerely I want to be invited to another set when my caliber is proven somewhere. So basically, there is a value in what I'm doing, like when the role that is probably going to be given to me in prospect. So potentially, I would like to do any language because I'm more than happy to do any Indian language as far as I'm a part of the Indian film industry, which I'm very blessed to be, because that was once too far away for a dream for me. Being in Dubai, not having a background, not having any connections or network, and finally, I'm actually in my 6th year in the industry. Time flies, and sometimes it's very hard to believe, but very grateful. First, my parents for being supportive, and my wife, and my friends who are my second family. All their support really matters. So,
well, here's wishing you luck, and thank you very much for speaking to us.
Pleasure. Thank you so
And
much.
let's hope to see you in more cinema and across, and we'll have another interview session soon when that happens. But we are waiting for your video to happen.
Thank you.
Your treadmill.
Yeah. I've already done Hrithik Roshan's Bang Bang also.
Okay, so that will also be included.
Yes.
Great. Thank you very much, and let's meet soon.
Thank you so much.